It's up for grabs now!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by pierre-emerick.
Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting edition of the Arsenal Lounge. I am hyped for this. I'm sure you all are. So without further ado, let's just crack on with it. First, I've got my co-host with me, channel founder, Shaheen. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy that we have everybody. We have everybody on today.
The judges snuck in there last minute, like we didn't notice. Another massive welcome back to Fabrizio Romano, who's becoming a lounger, a regular. How you doing, Fabrizio?
Thank you for the invitation. Nice to see you, and always happy to be together here with you.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Looking
man.
forward to it. And we've got the regular, our resident Lee Judges, sneaking in lastminute.com. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, thanks. All good. Can't complain.
No doubt making loads of lists of questions. That's why he was a bit late. Yeah. And finally, our debutant for Fabrizio's show, and I know he's going to want to have to ask loads of questions, a sports journalist in the making himself, Eduardo. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, people. Just a pleasure to be in front of so many important people and great people, by the way. So let's get this started.
I've never been called that before, Eduardo. Thank you, bro. So let's just do this then. Everyone's waiting to hear questions and answers, and we've been dying to do this. So Fabrizio, I'm going to start with you. Kick this off. You was on our show back in early April, where we were discussing, everything was still up in the air at that time with regards to Arteta, whether we're going to be in Europe, whether or not the league he's going to get into Europe via the league or via Europa. You suggested back then, whatever happens, the board have decided he stays. I'm now dying to ask you, since we've now looking at it today, he's out of the Europa, looking unlikely in the league. Is this still the case that the board are looking to keep him? And, what's the status? What are you hearing?
Yes, they are still backing Mikel Arteta. So what I'm told is that the situation is basically the same. They are happy with the manager. They are happy with the atmosphere. Obviously, they are not happy with the results, and it's normal because, as you said, in Europa was really disappointed, and the same in the Premier League. But they are still with Arteta. They are still convinced that he's the perfect manager to do it in the next years. So when I say they, I mean the ownership, I mean the board. They are together with Mikel Arteta. Also, many players are talking so well about him, about the relationship directly with the manager. So that's why Arsenal are thinking to continue with him. If nothing big is going to happen in the next weeks, he will be the Arsenal manager also for the next season. And so the situation is basically the same. Planning together also about the transfer with Mikel Arteta.
Right. Well, so that looks like he's staying then so far. No difference there. Lee, I'm going to throw over to you, mate. I'm sure you've got things you want to ask. So over to you, mate.
Can I sorry, Lee, just before you go on, sorry, man, sorry. I see my brother Turkish is in the chats. I'm going to send you a link, Turkish, so you can come on. Just bear with me. Sorry, Lee, go on.
No worries. All I really want to know is, I suppose, like most Arsenal fans, is what sort of players are going to be going for this season in the summer. Can we believe in what Mikel Arteta is saying, that Europe is not going to influence players coming or going? I think that's the key for me, really.
To be honest, I think no. To be honest with you, because I think Europe is the key, as we say last time here, and I'm always repeating that having European football, obviously Champions League football in particular, but European football in general, is so important to sign key players. But to be honest also, I think also what Arteta was meaning is, when you are Arsenal, when you are one of the best clubs in the world with a big history, with big plans, obviously always players are open to join Arsenal. I was also speaking with people also in the last days about some potential Arsenal moves, and players are always attracted to join Arsenal. The main problem is about, if you're not playing the Champions League and some player want to win the Champions League in some years, they want to join immediately clubs that are playing European football. To make you an example, I remember last summer the situation of aouar of Lyon. He wanted to play 100% European football and Champions League football, and that's why Arsenal had no chance to sign him also if they were negotiating, but the player was not 100% convinced because of this. So having Champions League is so important, but Arsenal have history, and this is something also so important.
Okay, Shaheen, go ahead.
I don't know, man. Fabrizio, it's a bit difficult. I don't know how this guy is managing to survive, man. It's a really bad season for Arsenal standards. But okay, fine. If he's gonna stay around, cool. They made a decision. What's the plan? This is what the question that I think a lot of us Arsenal fans we're wondering. What is the plan? Because I can speak for myself. I don't know what is the plan. Are they gonna back the guy? Because from what I see, and obviously your knowledge of football is a lot more than me, Arsenal need a lot of investment, right? It's not a £50 million here, Mikel, go sort it out. Are they going to cough up with this heavy duty money that we're talking about? Or I have no idea. What is the plan? I don't know from what you're hearing around. What is the vision for the club?
In what I've heard is that they want to be back next season to the Champions League. So the plan is to be in the top 4 next season, trying to be in the top 4 next season. I know saying this right now seems really, really difficult and not easy after this crazy season for Arsenal. So this is the feeling around, and I can understand your position. But they're planning to be back in the Champions League because for all clubs on this level, I always make the example of AC Milan with Arsenal, because here AC Milan in Italy did exactly the same. They were struggling, then they started to rebuild the club, young talents, good players. Now they will be back in Champions League and they're going to continue with the project. Arsenal want to do basically the same, back in the Champions League and then planning to win again in the next years. They are backing Arteta because they think that he's perfect also to manage the dressing room in this complicated situation, to have a direct relationship with the players. Having an example for what he did with Odegaard in January is something that is special for a manager, because maybe with another manager, I make you an example. I was reading the name of Sarri, for example, for Arsenal. He's not the kind of manager who is calling a player directly to build a relationship and then bring the player to Arsenal. Then if you have Arteta, you can do it. So they feel that he could also help on the transfer way. Let's see what happens, for sure. But the situation with Arteta is we want to be back in the Champions League with this kind of mentality and with this kind of manager.
Fair enough. And Eduardo, I'm going to come over to you now. I'm sure you got a long list.
I would like to have many questions, of course, but I wanted to expand on the point that Arsenal, sadly, we haven't been in the Champions League for 5 years now. And that also takes a toll, because if you were in the Champions League last year and you missed out this year, players are not going to worry that much. But since our project has been going down throughout the years, it's a worry for anybody that wants to come here. So probably you're going to have to pay over the odds. You're going to have to pay that extra 15K a week to everybody to get them here. And it's going to be risks, financial risk you're going to have to take if you want to do something this year. Because look, players are starting to get expensive, more expensive by the day. By every summer, you're getting new 50 million players. And back then with 50 million, you could sign Figo. So now we're in this situation and we're going to have to be critical. We're going to have to spend. And what we truly have to care about is if it's Kroenke he's going to spend or not. If he doesn't, we're doomed. I don't think we're going to probably get some good players here and there, but are we going to leave the state of mediocrity we're in? I don't think so. And the question I had for Fabrizio is it 100% confirmed that Hector Bellerin's leaving the club this year?
It's 100% confirmed that Arsenal are looking for a new right back and he's looking to leave the club. Then, obviously, let's see if he can find an agreement with another club. But yes, the feeling is that he's on the transfer list. So he can leave Arsenal. It's something already planned since January, because they were looking for a right back since January. And so he knows that Arsenal are planning without him. He's looking for some opportunities also in other countries. Let's see if Paris Saint-Germain will be back. Leonardo wanted him last summer, but there was no agreement with Arsenal and they signed Florenzi. But let's see if Paris Saint-Germain will be back. Let's see if some club in Spain will move for Bellerin. Also here in Italy, someone is asking to people around Bellerin for the player. So my feeling is that, yes, Bellerin is leaving the club and Arsenal will 100% sign a new right back.
So Fabrizio, going on from what Edu was saying, I wanted to go a little bit further with that, because this is what my concern was as well. We're not in Europe at the moment. There's a lot of stories in the summer. We're going to have this huge war chest, 200 millions being bandied around. We as fans, we hear this every summer. How realistic is it that we're, one, going to give Arteta 200 million to spend, and two, that we're not going to risk again getting mediocre players, like Edu said, because we can't get that top tier player? I mean, have you heard confirmed the sort of money that these guys are willing to back Arteta with?
To be honest with you, about money, budget, and these kind of things, I have nothing confirmed about this money because I think it's normal. Clubs are not confirming this kind of info to journalists because, to make an example, you can be confident because Chelsea last summer were saying, okay, we're going to do something interesting, but we were not expecting this kind of transfer window from Chelsea. So let's see what happens. But at the moment, I have not confirmed about the money and how much they're going to spend. But I know for sure that selling players is also so important to have something new to invest. Remember that for all clubs, and in particular for Arsenal that have so many players, building a new group with not too many players, but with the main group is something important. Saving salary as they did in January, and they want to continue in the summer. So players like Bellerin, but many others went to see Torreira. We're going to talk about them, but they have to save salaries and they have to change the situation, sell players, and then invest. That's for sure. About the budget, I'm not 100% sure because they will never confirm about the budget. If they say we're going to spend this money, also the players will cost more than this. So it's not smart. That's it.
Sounds like another squeaky bum summer transfer window, guys. Well, Turkish is coming. I know he's already pumped in 3 questions into the chat. So, bro, while you're here, it looks like you're still setting up. You ready to ask a question? Go for it.
Yeah, I've heard interesting things about Champions League so far. It's mad to hear the word Champions League when we are in the position we're in. But the first question I want to ask, and it's one to Fabrizio, maybe Eduardo can help out here as well. I'm someone that on Twitter over the last 3 years has seen a lot of nonsense from journalists. And the question I want to ask is, do journalists play on Arsenal fans' emotions because of the way we've been treated as a fan base over the years? We've been linked to so many names from Upamecano to Benzema to aouar last summer, for example. A lot of these names never come into fruition. And more often than not, a lot of these names are replaced by a plan B or a plan C that never lives up to expectation. So I want to know from your stance, obviously we've got Romano and Eduardo here. Why is the Twitter journalist playing with Arsenal fans' emotions?
You know, I want to say that when you have history, when you have Arsenal name, but where you are at the moment struggling, so it's not easy to sign top players, it's also too easy to put Arsenal name in the transfer news and helping other clubs to move immediately for a player. So this is something that is normal, but it's not coming from England, to be honest. I'm not an English guy, I'm Italian. And I want to say that really sometimes I'm really disappointed to see that some Italian journalists, and not only from Italy, but from other countries, not from England, they are playing with Arsenal because it's too easy to put Arsenal name if you're talking about a player, and they are not even negotiating for this player, but just to wake up some agent, some director from other clubs. So I think that when you have the name of Arsenal, and I mention again, AC Milan and also Inter some years ago where they were sleeping giants, now they are back winning, but they've been for 10 years without winning anything. So when you have this kind of name of top clubs, but you are struggling, it's always easy to go with the name and you are on the market. But you're right when you say that many times people are playing with Arsenal name, and it's not correct for the fans 100%, but it's not from England, I want to say. So people close to the club and journalists close to the club, they do an amazing work. It's people from outside, they have no relationship with people in the club, they play with Arsenal, and it's too easy, maybe.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that from you.
Yeah. I think we already kind of knew that anyway. But Lee, have you got anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, like lots of rumours today coming out about David Luiz. What do you know the situation with that? You know, if personally, I like him to stay for another season because of the experience and things like that. But what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing on everything here, sort of saying that he has turned down a new contract and will be leaving.
There is no contract proposal from Arsenal at the moment, so David Luiz is leaving the club. He's leaving the club. At the moment, there is no proposal from Arsenal. He's looking for other opportunities. He was waiting since months to understand Arsenal's position. And also some weeks ago, Arsenal were in the position to say, okay, let's decide at the end of the season if continue with David Luiz or signing a new centre-back. At the moment, the position is try for a new centre-back and David Luiz will leave the club. So at the moment, no contract proposal from Arsenal, and the feeling around the player is that he's going to leave. We wait for the last confirmation at the end of the season, because basically they will have the last conversation with the agents at the end of the season. But at the moment, there is no contract, so David Luiz is expecting to leave the club.
I would like to say that a few minutes ago, Sami Makbo came out with an exclusive saying that in the last 24 hours, David Luiz has told Arsenal that he has decided to leave. So That's the latest news.
He's always got his finger on the pulse.
Well.
Always got his finger on the pulse, Edu. Always. All right, Pablo, you got any questions? Sorry, Turkish, bro. Sorry, man.
No worries.
You want to have a go Turkish? Or should
No,
I go?
I just said that we should be telling these players to leave the club. How can we wait for Luiz to tell us he's leaving? What are we going to do? Wait for William to tell us he's leaving and wait for all the... This is not proactivity. We need to be proactive, not reactive. Arsenal are too reactive.
Yeah.
And this is
But don't trust always what they say in the press. Don't trust all because it's too easy to go against the board.
Can we trust you, Fab? Can we trust you?
No, it's not just about me, Eduardo.
No.
It's great. Many people following Arsenal is great. But many times it's too easy to go with players and to go against the board. But I can tell you that 1 month ago, the board were saying we are not convinced to continue with David. We want to look for a new centre-back. We will decide at the end of the season. So Arsenal were planning without David, not with David, and now he's going to surprise Arsenal. Just to make you understand that sometimes they're playing with Arsenal board, and it's too easy. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Fabrizio, I wanted to ask you something. If I think this goes back to this whole Super League business and what happened after that with the fans protesting about the ownership of Arsenal. This has been a very rocky relationship over the years that has never, in my opinion, been built in a correct manner. I don't know if you know this, but what's the feeling from the Kroenkes about these protests, about us fans coming, outside the Emirates saying we don't want you, sell, leave? Do you know anything about the bid that is allegedly supposed to come from Daniel Elk? It has gone quiet a little bit as well. I don't know if you can tell us a little bit more about this whole segment of transfer of the club, the feeling of Kroenkes and intention of Daniel.
Yes, about the proposal, as you said, is still quiet, and they continue to say that they have no intention to sell Arsenal. So let's see what happens with the proposal, if the proposal will arrive, when will arrive, as he announced, what they will decide, but they continue on the same way. And about the Kroenke feeling, they are disappointed. They are convinced they made a big mistake with the situation of the Super League. But this is also for the other top clubs in England, in Italy, and apart from Spanish clubs maybe, but all other clubs have understood what they did was something really poor. So they knew that was really something disappointing also for the fans. But they know that in football, okay, today you are angry because you are not winning. Look at Manchester City fans, for example, or many others. If you are winning, you have no problems. Inter fans, I make you an example. They were disappointed with the Super League, okay, but they're winning the title and they're not going against the board and the ownership. So I'm 100% sure that if Arsenal were winning the Europa League, now the feeling was a bit different maybe. But they are convinced that the situation can turn on in the next month. So they hope that changing the situation, gonna plan for a Champions League spot next season, they can rebuild also the relationship with the fans. But they know that the situation at the moment is really disappointing and they need to change it.
Edu, I'm going to come to you in a second, but I want to ask questions for Fabrizio as well, because everyone's flying in the chats right now. So I think what people really want to know, Fabrizio, is who we're in the market for. We obviously need, Leno was apparently maybe leaving, he's staying. Now it seems like we got Ryan, is he staying? Then we've got the right back situation. We've got the left back cover. We've got centre mids. We've got, there's a lot of things up in the air. What names? They're talking about 5 players apparently that we're looking at to bring in. What 5 names should we be expecting Arsenal to be looking at?
That's a good question. So the centre-back after David Luiz leaving will arrive, and they will go for a right back. They are looking for a right back since months. So as I said, right back, centre-back, goalkeeper, as you said, if Leno leaves the clubs, they will go for a goalkeeper. And at the moment, there is nothing with Szczesny, just to clarify, because we had rumors, but there is nothing. And I think Szczesny is staying at Juventus. Midfielder, yes. And the midfielder will be more than Camavinga will be a player with different skills, So keep an eye on players like Bissouma, not only him, but this kind of players for the midfield. Number 10, if Odegaard will not stay, and it's not decided yet, it depends by it's done, because the player is so happy with Arsenal at the moment. So let's see how it develops with Real Madrid, because Real Madrid say we want to keep the player, we want to have Odegaard back, but the player is happy at Arsenal. So let's see what happens. And then let's see also for the opportunities for a striker, because the situation with Lacazette is okay. They are talking about one more year of contract, but they are also looking at the situation of a potential striker if something interesting will be on the market. So I'm really curious to see what happens with the right back, because they were considering Lamptey in January. Then they decided to go for a different kind of right back. Emerson is appreciated, but the price is so high. So it's more than 25 million euro, because there is an agreement between Betis and Barcelona to share the payment of the future sale of the player. So that's why it's not so easy for Emerson. Max Aarons is appreciated. He's one of the players in the list. So let's see what they will decide for a right back. And I'm really curious also to see for the midfielder if they will go to bid for Bissouma. They are scouting him since many months, or if they will go for something different.
Excellent. Edu, next question.
Do I have to ask Fabrizio?
Well, who do you want to ask? That's what he's here for.
I mean, well, do you think we're going to sign a left wing?
If there is, talking about strikers, the answer is if there are opportunities, we are in for it. If it's crazy paying some crazy fee, no. So it's about opportunities and selling players, because also Willian, after David Luiz, will consider options if something will arrive on the market. So if you sell players, you have opportunities. It's not the priority as of today. And I expect a left back as replacement also, as backup for Tierney. Yes. And Tierney is staying. Napoli were trying again also some weeks ago to contact Arsenal, because they love the player. They want Tierney in Serie A, but there is no chance.
Okay, Turkish. We've got another question for Fabrizio.
Yeah, well, one of them was just answered about the priorities this summer. And you mentioned a few positions. The question I want to ask is, we've heard the words overhaul and culture change over the last 2 years, but is it actually in the pipeline now, or are they just simply words again? Because we've heard it when Wenger went, we heard it when Arteta came in. We're pretty much hearing it again now. You've mentioned about 5 positions, Fabrizio, that Arsenal are interested in this summer. Is it just simply interest, or is the club's approach looking a bit different to how it has been the last 2, 3, or maybe even decade long?
So you mean if they're on the same point for the positions? Sorry,
no,
I wasn't hearing this.
No, I mean, in terms of, we've heard about an overhaul in terms of playing staff for a long time, and you mentioned about 5 positions that we are interested in improving on. Is it just interest, or do you see a different approach from Arsenal moving into this summer in comparison?
No. And I can guarantee to you 100% that they are working on some position in particular. So like right back, center back, midfielder, and number 10 if Odegaard will leave, since February. So they are already talking with people, with agents, with clubs to be prepared, because the market this summer will be a bit particular. As always, when we have the Euros of the World Cup, the summer will be the start of June, the end of May and the start of June. You have to start something. So I expect Arsenal to do something at the beginning of the market. And then during the Euros, the market is a bit different. You know, many agents are waiting. Many clubs are waiting to see if players will get different values or something will change. And then at the end of the Euros, it will be like a bond for 2 weeks of July. And so there is the last part with August. So at the beginning of the market, Arsenal, in my opinion, will be prepared to do something. Let's see if it will be the right back. The absolute priority is the right back at the moment and the midfielder. So I expect them to move at the beginning on the market to be close to sign one of these 2 players in these positions.
Perfect. Right back in midfield. That's perfect.
Yeah, hopefully. We can only hope.
Something?
Yes. Go on. One of you 2.
Go on. Sorry, Lee, go on.
No, I was just saying, what about that when we talk about players going? What's the general feeling about Pepe? Because I've got the feeling that Mikel Arteta doesn't rate him. Is that something that they'd be looking to offload, or is it because of the price that they won't be able to? And what about, let's squash these rumours now about Aaron Ramsey. Come on, let's squash them. Is there any truth in them or not?
Aaron Ramsey would love to join Arsenal again, to be back at Arsenal, because really at Juventus he's struggling, he's not playing, many injuries, but in general the atmosphere around Juventus has been really complicated in the last 2 years and this season in particular. So Ramsey would love to be back at Arsenal, but at the moment there is nothing, no contact, nothing advanced yet with Arsenal. So he will be on the market, 100%. Ramsey is available. If Arsenal want to go for Ramsey, they know that they have the chance. But at the moment, there is nothing advanced or serious with Aaron Ramsey. And talking about Pepe, the situation is not so easy, as you mentioned, because it was an important signing. And it's really difficult to sell this player in the summer. So the feeling around the player is that Arsenal will try again with him. We'll try with Arteta also to rebuild this consideration in Europe, and let's see what happens next season. But if an important bid will arrive, Arsenal are open to consider. But at the moment, it's really difficult to have this money for this player. So maybe the best solution is to continue with him for one more season.
Shaheen.
Yeah, I was more or less going to ask what Lee asked, but I'll ask again. Just before I ask the question, I think we've got about 1,000 people watching, so please subscribe to our channel. If you're new, hit the like. Turkish LDN, follow him. Fabrizio, follow on Twitter. Eduardo on Twitter. Lee as well on Twitter. So subscribe to their channels, and thank you again for them being here. I think we discussed about the players that are potentially coming in terms of players outgoings, because I think there are some players in the squad that have some value to them, like Guendouzi, Torreira, that they're all coming back from loans. Is there any talk about them? Any value being mentioned? What is the asking price from Arsenal? If you can tell us a little bit about the outgoings as well from what you know, Fabrizio.
Yeah, the situation is...
Sorry. I forgot. I totally forgot. I think I know you need to go soon, Fabrizio. You got something to do, but we're actually staying on, and we've got another announcement that after this we'll tell you guys as well.
Only if they smash the likes. We want more likes. I want more likes.
We'll tell you as well.
Come on.
Yeah, sorry, Fabrizio. Go on.
No problem. So, to make an example, you asked about the price and these kind of things. I remember when the rumors about Torreira to Boca Juniors were coming on, and no one contacted Arsenal. So from Boca Juniors, they have not made any proposal. Agents of Torreira have not brought any proposal to Arsenal from Boca Juniors. So Torreira is a player on the market. He's for sale, but Arsenal want money. They are not giving him for free to Boca Juniors just because, obviously, they respect his personal situation, what has happened this year to Lucas. But Arsenal is an important club, and they want money to sell Lucas Torreira. So Torreira will be a player on the market, but at the moment with Boca, there is still nothing done. And let's see if from Italy something will arrive, because the player is highly appreciated in Serie A. And also Guendouzi will be back at Arsenal, but he will be available on the market in case of some proposal arriving. Let's see what happens with Willock also, because the situation is so interesting. The player is doing so well. Newcastle are so happy. They say that they want to keep the player, but they have to pay, because Arsenal are not going to accept 15 or 10 or 12 million euro or 20 million euro. They want around 30, 35 to start negotiation. Then let's see if they can find a different agreement. But this is the price for these players. And so they are available on the market, yes, same for Leno, but for the right price. And they are not going to do anything just to sell players and stop or giving for free.
Fabrizio, I've got a question. Everyone's asking it, so I might as well ask it. Is there any reality in the news with regards to us looking at Grealish? Because this name's being bandied around now. It's not, it's been bandied around by a few people and a few papers, media sources as well now. How much is there in that?
I think it's really difficult, because it's more than 85 million euro, is around 90 as asking price. And I think it's really complicated to sign this player, not just for Arsenal this summer, will be really difficult. I know that they are moving. When I say they are moving to look at this kind of opportunities, but I think the price for the player that they want to sign as number 10, if Odegaard will not stay, the fee will be a bit less than this. So I think like 35, 50, no more than this, not 80 or 90 million euro. So it will be a bit different, and I think that Grealish is really complicated. How not appreciate this kind of player? Obviously, not only for Arsenal, for many clubs, but at the moment it's difficult.
All right. Okay. Well, that's not sounding great.
I think many people don't remember that we have Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and he could be on the way as well. Like when people talk about outgoings, it's like Ainsley is not a West Brom player, so. Still, you're gonna have to see if he stays or he goes. I don't think he has a spot here in a central midfielder role.
Well,
sorry, can I just add a question quickly, Fabrizio?
Yes.
We talk a lot about Kroenke. He's under the most pressure he's ever been under. We talk a lot about Arteta, Unai Emery, Arsene Wenger. I want to ask about Edu now. Has his position become a cause of concern for the club, for the owner? Is there any doubts about him being the man to be above Arteta and lead that sort of area? Because Maitland-Niles, Eduardo just mentioned Maitland-Niles. We could have sold him last summer. Eddie Nketiah, we could have sold him last summer. We could have sold him in January. Bellerin, we could have sold last summer. That all doesn't fall on Arteta. That falls on Edu as well. So what about his job? Is there stability there as well, Fabrizio? Or
there is big stability around Edu because they know that if you go with Edu, you have to give him some time. If you want a director to bring old players or just for 1 year and not lock their project, you can go with a different director. If you go with Edu, you have to give him some time because he's going with young talents. He has a strong relationship also as a human being and not just as a director with people. So he's building something for the future. Also with the scouting, as the Guardian revealed, he's going to rebuild the situation of the scouting. He has a strong relationship with Arteta. He was key, for example, for Balogun. Without Edu as director, Balogun was going to leave Arsenal 100% as a free agent. 100%. It was almost done to Stuttgart in Bundesliga. The agreement was, to Bayer Leverkusen in Bundesliga. The agreement was almost done. Really, the player was ready to leave. Edu was pushing directly with the player, convincing him together with Arteta, and they did it. And it was something important for the club. So he's always appreciated, and they're going to continue with him. Obviously, this summer will be key also for his job, but he is working at top, and Arsenal are happy with him. So they know that you need time when you have this kind of people. Arteta, Edu, they are not to win immediately, but they are to build something in long term.
So it shows a lot of people in here are slating Edu, but then we hear a different side of the story from Fabrizio. Does anyone want to squeeze one last one in with Fabrizio before we let him go? Because I know he's got, is it Sky Italia or something like that to be next? the other big channel.
The other question, Fabrizio Romano, who do you support? English club?
Arsenal,
I
of course.
Watford.
Watford.
Yes, I'm Watford fan, guys. Since the Troy Deeney goal against Leicester, I'm a Watford fan. Italian ownership. I've been in Vicarage many times, so I'm Watford fan. We are back.
Imagine Troy Deeney is the reason Fabrizio Romano supports. What a headline!
I love them. I play on FIFA Football Manager always with Watford.
Right,
thanks for that, Fabrizio.
Who's your Italian team?
I can't say. Sorry. I can't.
All right, fair enough. Well, listen.
Okay.
Go on.
Go on, Shane.
No, I just want to say thank you, man. Thanks for coming on, Fabrizio. I know we really appreciate you giving us your time and give us an insight into a club that we, as a fan base, are very, very frustrated about because we don't really hear these things from the club, and it's just there's a blockade between us and the club at the moment. And thanks for being here. Thanks for giving us your time, man.
Really, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be together. I hope you can be confident because, as you know better than me, in football, things change in 1 month, in 2 months. I always give you the example of what happened here in Italy with Juventus always winning the league and Inter and AC Milan that they put on the same level of Arsenal. Top clubs, top history, but struggling for so many years. And they changed the situation in 1 or 2 seasons immediately with something new and changing the atmosphere. So I'm confident for Arsenal. I want to say thank you again for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be together. Man. Congrats for the great work and see you soon.
See you soon, Fabrizio. Maybe bring you back for the Euros. Maybe the Euros. Sure. Who knows? Who knows?
Sure. Thank you.
Right. Cheers,
bye, guys.
Thank you. Right. That was an interesting one, man. That was interesting. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Turkish. What's your thoughts? I know it wasn't something I wasn't looking to hear, but
Turkish ain't having it.
No, first and foremost, I want to say thank you, Shaheen, for bringing me on last minute as well.
Don't worry.
Time and appreciate you sending the link. And what do I think? I still think what I thought asking the first question, that a lot of the stuff we see on Twitter and in the media, we can't believe, we can't, hang on, because like Fabrizio just said, Arsenal are a massive club. We've got a great history. And that's the reason why he's admitted that a lot of people do play on that online. So we need to make sure we stay grounded as a fan base. We need to make sure we stay on Stan Kroenke, because whether we're against Arteta, Edu, Xhaka, Bellerin, or the rest of them, the one man that can fix all of that is a new owner. So I still think that regardless of hearing Camavinga and hearing Bellerin might be on the way out and hearing 5 priorities this summer, I still feel like I'd rather hear that the owner is close to selling or on the verge of selling than hearing about new transfers or the potential of a new direction next season with a manager or all of that. So my thoughts haven't really changed much, but I'm actually glad Fabrizio has admitted that online, don't listen to everything you read.
I think what you can make of it is I don't think the owners are going to go anywhere. I think that they're staying. The way it seemed by the way he's talking, I think that they've got a plan set out. I think it's interesting. I'll tell you what's interesting. David Luiz one now that they've decided that they're not going to take him up on an option. That means they're going to look to bring in maybe somebody else, a bit more experience, to go alongside Saliba. I think that's got to happen. So I think that that's a positive. I know, I think David Luiz has probably been our best central defender this season. That just shows you how poor it's been. But it looks like we're going to go down a route of getting out some big earners and go with some younger players, and that someone's just putting there maybe go for Cahill, but that's what will end up happening, But I think it's a positive. But I do think that I don't think the owners are going to go anywhere, guys. I really don't.
This is on the owners subject, Lee, and in particular, this is my one concern out of everything that's come out, because even if these guys now they're staying, let's just say they're staying. It looks like that, they're going to live or die by this decision, keep Arteta, whatever. It could be another repeat of if they do back Arteta and give him that money. We're in what now when we're out of Europe, the timing is not the best. How much of that money is going to be wasted on players that we're not able to go for that upper tier, are we? If we're not offering Champions League, how much of that money is going to go to waste again, and how much over the odds are we going to pay? That's my concern.
Yeah, well, that's what done Man United's wage bill. Let's forget Man United.
The problem, I think, the problem with this, I don't know if you guys share this with me. Even if Stan Kroenke comes tomorrow and says, right, here's £200 million, go spend it. I don't have trust in these guys to go and spend it properly. They haven't really shown in the transfer dealings they've done that they're going to go and get the proper players we need, like the Willian transfer or things like this. That I'm thinking, even if this 200 million comes, is Edu going to spend it wisely on areas that we need?
I agree with that.
I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I agree with that. Look, for me, last year, even though we were all excited by Partey and they all made like a media stunt to get everyone excited at the end, I think it's unprofessional, it's incompetent to sign a player who has a release clause in the last day of the window, because we could have done it so much earlier. He could have had a preseason. He could have had a more integration. He wouldn't even gotten injured if he would have had the conditioning. So I think going forward, we are in a position of prayer, because we don't have any guarantees that they're going to do what we need. And me, I'm trying to be a journalist, but more than anything, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I am worried about the situation. I don't think Kroenke is going to sell, at least not in this window. So we're going to have to go through this process with him. And God, we are in a dire situation in which we have to fight if they don't do anything about it, because this summer's make or break. We can either go back to competing next year if you spend the 200 million wisely, or you can go down and become mid-table forever, like some other teams have done before.
It's just another example of, look, why invest now? Why didn't you do it a couple of years ago when we were still in Europe and we needed that investment? That just goes back to the owners for me. Right, okay, you're going to chuck money at it now. But now we're in a weak position to barter. And now also, even if they do the 200 million, you've just told the whole world we're desperate. We've got 200 million pound war chest, and they're going to give us high transfer ratings for any player that we go for. So it is concerning. Before we go any further, Shaheen, there was a couple of super chats. I don't want to ignore them. There was two. This is a very quick one from Andrew Ritchie. Can we just put that up? And this is for you, by the way, Lee. Andrew Ritchie's been chasing me with regards to you wearing a judge's wig for the next show. He's got one for you and wants to send it. Really crucial question, but would you wear it is the question.
No problems at all, right? No problems at all.
There you go, Andy. Big question.
I'm just going to try to find the other super chat to put on, but just before I go through that, I just want to tell everybody, for the rest of the season, after every Arsenal game, if you join us at Arsenal Lounge, we're going to have Mo with us. So he is going to give us his reaction.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, Mo, he's going to be with us after every game. So he's going to give us his thought and his reaction to the results. So we start in Wednesday after Crystal Palace. So if you join us, Mo will be here. And he will give us his thoughts to the Arsenal performances. But I'm just trying to find the other super chat. So if you want to speak to other
I think it was Alexander Klapoff. If we haven't... No, that was the wrong one. Alexander, sorry, bro. If we've missed it, send it back in and we'll send it for you. Just send the question and we'll ask it, mate. Lee, anything else you want to discuss with what you've heard today, bro?
No, I just think that, look, one thing I think I've got to get off of you, because a few people are saying in the chat about because obviously Arsenal have launched a new kit today, like or said about it, like, you know, and it's going to be sold out within days of it being done. That's how it is. Like, but that money does not go to Kroenke. You know what I mean? Like, it goes to Adidas. Adidas pay Arsenal a certain amount of money for it. So anything you buy for Arsenal merchandise does not go to Stan Kroenke. It's already gone to Stan Kroenke. So
I would like to emphasize,
or you don't.
I just want to add,
please remember that.
I want to add something, Lee. You're right to a certain extent. 5% of shirt sales still go to the club, which is not that much of an amount. But what stopping merchandise can do is when contracts come for tender, for renewal, we will be offered less money than we was previously. It's happened to Man United just now with Chevrolet deal coming to an end and with Team Viewer coming in. The Team Viewer deal is not bigger, it's lesser than the Chevrolet deal. Now, when you're getting deals that are less than what you was expected to get, that's when it goes to the board. So even though you are right in a sense where most of the money from the shirt sales, 95% go to Adidas, what we can do as a fan base, it's more important in the first year of a new brand coming in or the last year of a brand, because that's when the true impact is really made. But I wouldn't put off anyone from not buying it to make a stand, because I still think anyone who doesn't buy it are still helping in their own way.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think a lot of us that are trying to justify it with, they've already paid for it and all of that, probably seen that new yellow shirt and we all want it. So we're just trying to make
it. It is very nice, you know what I mean?
It is a bloody nice shirt.
Very nice, but like
the cannon's the wrong way around, but it's a beautiful shirt, you know? Like,
yeah, it is.
That's all we've had over the last few years. Beautiful shirts and nothing on the pitch.
Well, that's the thing, you know, I mean, I wish they would show a little bit more what's the word, ambition, like they do selling shirts, because I tell you what, you know, tops and what we bring out and everything like that, we make, you know, we really push that, don't we? We push the boat out on that. You know, it's a shame that we don't show that ambition on the football field, you know, but you know, that's the way it goes, you know. And listen, at the end of the day, whether you buy that stuff or not, people will buy it, you know what I mean? It's not people, you know, you say, right, you ain't going to go to a game or see, you know, give up your season ticket. There's always someone else that's going to have that season ticket, you know. It's as simple as that, you know. And
Lee, the sponsorship deal.
Like I said, I mean, I'm a season ticket holder, and when people say to me, like, hand your season ticket back, that's something I haven't been able to do yet. But I have been able to stop buying merchandise. I have been able to stop subscribing to Sky and BT because I've found alternatives. But what I want the Arsenal fan base to know is we can all do something. We can't do everything. I can't do everything. I struggle to let my season ticket go because I hope for better days around the corner, and I hope that I'm still, you know, in and around the club when it does happen. But I can do other things. Like I can attend the protest on my platform.
100%. It's like I used to buy a program years ago. I don't buy a program no more. I don't buy drink or food in the ground. I don't buy anything like that. You know what I mean? I do push it some way down the line, and contrary to what people say, I don't buy merchandise neither.
See, the problem I got, Turkish, we were having this conversation a couple of weeks ago with Lee as well. The problem I got is it's usually people who without season tickets that tell you don't renew your season ticket. 1, 2. A lot of these people, not myself in particular, but a lot of these people have been having these season tickets for generations. They've passed it down from their granddad to the son, to his son, and so on and so on. And they're the core group of the fan base, right, that attend the games. If they then give up their tickets and some casual person on the waiting list buys it, all you're actually doing is helping them, because that core that will speak up and is real Arsenal fans from the hybrid days will eventually disappear, and you'll just have casual fans, and they'll be happy with that, no?
Well, you'd say they'd be happy, but at the same time, listen, this club was born and raised in London, you know? Yeah. So I think that's where a lot of the culture of the club comes from. That's where a lot of the class, which, you know, has gone over the last 10, 15, 20 years, originated. I welcome fans from abroad. I welcome the club getting bigger because that should help lead us to better days, but it hasn't. It's been manipulated in a way where they've utilized that new market of supporters and fans and taken the piss out of the ones that helped the club get to that position in the first place. So I just think that, yes, long term, it looks like football's working in their favor. But I think the reaction from the European Super League shows fans still can do something. And the way that the club's backtracked even surprised me. A 48-hour turnaround surprised me. So I think we need to remain committed to the cause. If we love the club and we can do stuff, then do it. Like I said, you can't do everything, but do something. Whether it's merchandise, Sky, programs, food, season tickets, do something.
Yeah, choose like
Shaheen. Yeah, I just see some people in a comments. They put in, we've got 350 likes or whatever. What's the announcement? The announcement was that we're gonna have Mo with us for the rest of the season after the games to give his reaction. So that was the announcement. But
we're here for 2 games.
Yes. And then we're gonna do
loan signing.
Yeah, we're gonna do more stuff next season. And I'm gonna put a little bit of spotlight. Huh?
You didn't say that. You just said to the end of the season.
I did. No.
He didn't. Lee.
No.
Listen, for the rest of the season.
I'm going to put a little bit of a spotlight here on my brother here, Turkish. Right? I've got you live now here. There's no way going nowhere. We're going to do more stuff next season together, yeah?
I can no comments questions. What is that? Say that again.
I said we're going to do more stuff together next season.
We're
trying to discuss something, this and that. We're going to have more as well.
We started this year with a weekly show. Obviously,
I know.
My circumstances changed over the beginning of this year. Little one, new role and whatnot. So, listen.
No, we're planning big things for next season. And I want to ask you something. This is a close subject for both of us, I think, because previously we discussed it. When is the next protest?
Sunday, 23rd of May, 2 p.m., but I'd suggest 1 p.m.
Outside the same place as outside the shop.
Outside
so for everybody who doesn't know, obviously, again, thank you for being here. Subscribe to our channel, Turkish LDN. Subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to any of us. So just go there, follow Edu, follow Lee Judges, follow us, subscribe to us. Thank you again for being here. I
think Lee wanted to say something, by the way.
Yeah, I just want to know what's all this with mate Eduardo's getting a little bit of hate on Twitter. What's going on with Eduardo?
Do you know what? I wanted to address that. Good point, Lee, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up because, look, Eduardo, we've got a lot of time for. He's a genuine fan, just like all of us, right? And he does his research. You can't always get it right. None of the media get it right. He's just as dependent on information out there as we are, right? And on top of this lad is doing a degree in sports journalism, so he's serious about his work. So we try to back people like him. So I don't understand the hate he was getting, but Eduardo, I mean, do you want to sort of touch on what happened, or you know, look, at the end of the day, just we as a fan base, we should be looking out for each other, and we're all going to have different opinions. Why do we have to be sort of bitter about it? I don't understand. But Eduardo,
well, I don't really mind touching on the problem, but I've received hate throughout the time here, and I don't really focus on that. I focus on the love and support I receive from everybody, and if I have the opportunity of helping anybody, I do it as soon as I can. And I am sure there are going to be people that want to see you go down one way or the other, and they want your attention, and I don't bite on that type of thing. So if anybody ever needs anything from me, I am open to helping you in any way, shape, or form. And we are, as you said, we are a family. So I don't take that for granted. Everything I do, I wake up at 4 a.m. Much like Fabrizio in his documentary said, I wake up at 4 a.m. to bring the news, and it's not easy. I don't get paid for that. I just wanna inform my people, and I'm here just as a fan like all of you.
Yeah, I mean, look,
from Harry as well.
Well, Harry's done the same as you, Eduardo. Harry left a job he had in the city to chase his dreams. And here at Arsenal Lounge, right, all fans that are Arsenal fans are entitled to their opinions, will be treated with respect, and you are always welcome on our shows. You know this, and we'll always back you. And, if you want to do well, we'll help as much as you can. So, listen.
You got to be careful on the internet as well, man. That's my advice. On the internet, when you say something and you put your name to it, if it doesn't come into fruition, naturally, I mean, I remember someone coming on aftv saying Allegri's going to buy a house in the area and he's our next man.
I remember that, yeah.
Where has that guy gone since, and that pretty much, credibility is a big thing.
Down.
Yeah, obviously, listen, abuse and all that. I've had my fair share of it. You guys know that shit, Lev. So
you deserve it, though. You do. You deserve it, like, you know.
I earned it, yeah. I earned that abuse, mate. Listen, I fucking earned it, yeah. Any more than bring it on DMs, Twitter and Instagram, Turkish LDN.
So all the abuse can go over to Turkish LDN.
Yeah,
let's just transfer the traffic over there. So he's used to it, and big up to you, Turkish, for putting up with that, brother. And a lot of the stuff you said over the years has come into fruition. Let's be honest. So, as I say, everyone's entitled to their opinions here, and we're not always going to get it right. And as Lee rightly said, all fans are flip-flops. We sometimes think a player's great, then we think he's useless. It happens. Or a manager's great, then he's useless. Anyone who says that fans aren't flip-flops are liars, right? I mean, we don't always get it right. So that's all I've got to say on that. Shaheen, do you want anything else you want to say before we let this everyone go?
I just want to thank you, everybody, for being here. Turkish, my brother, Lee, my older brother, and Eduardo, my younger brother. Thank you for being here, giving us your time. And thank you for everybody who gave us time, watch the show. I hope that you wanted to. I didn't particularly heard from what I wanted to hear. I wanted the manager gone, a good manager come in, signings. But I just hope that these guys, if they want to keep Arteta, pull their finger out, make the right signings. And we suffered enough. We need this club to get back to where it was. So hopefully we'll go that direction.
In the meantime, it still looks like we're the warm-up Nuggets for another couple of seasons. So it is what it is. We've still got Kroenke in. So that's it from us. This has been the Arsenal Lounge. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Massive support. And if you haven't watched it already, watch it back. And watch out for the next shows coming up. Put your notifications on. Smash those likes and subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting close to that 10K. So that's a goodbye from me. Goodbye from everyone here, and peace out.
Love.